I'm from France, from Paris.
I'm from China.
Melbourne. Born and bred.
I have. I'm not really sure what it is though.
No, not really.
Yeah, it happens all the time, especially in Australia.
Correct me if I'm wrong, it's like casual racism. People will pretend they know something about you just because of how you look, right? And it's bizarre to me, but I guess people just forget, and maybe they don't know about it, so they just ask these questions that can come off as like microaggression.
Throughout everyday life, like you'll notice some things that like maybe try to play off as a joke, but if you look into them, you're like, that's a little racist. It's more like subtle like racism in like small kind of everyday situations.
There's always like some people who go like the second level, and they're like, they just keep insisting on trying to figure out like my ethnicity. Like they're not okay with like me just saying I'm from Canada. And then some people would be like, oh, but like, where were you born? And I'd be like, still Canada. And then some people will be like, where are your parents from though? And I'm like, I know what you're trying to get at, but it's like not the right way to go about it.
Especially during the World Cup recently, you know, for example, I had a friend when it was a Denmark team, a black player entered into the field and he said, oh, he's gonna run fast. I was like, not because he's black that he runs fast, it's stupid.
When I was in the high school there, some of the students asked me, do you eat cats? Do you eat dogs? Yeah, but I don't. That's really mean, actually.
And the other one is like, okay, you're Chinese people, so you just play with Chinese. Yeah.
I always get Asian jokes about not being able to drive and not being able to see because I'm half Asian.
Yeah, probably the opposite of like, with the driving, like crazy driving, some Arab, things like that, some
And
Lebanese.
loud. Yeah.
And loud, there you go.
That's me doing it.
If you meet somebody of like African American descent, especially in like the US, it's like people make stereotypes about them, about their family situations or how they are at athletics, or especially if they're going to college, or like they kind of ignore the like their opposition they face in life and just be like, oh, people like give you all these scholarships and stuff because of that, and it's just not right.
It's confusing because if you think about it, like I'm from Canada, and like say there's someone who looks white and they're from Canada, they would never get asked the question of like, oh, where are you really from, right? Whereas I always do. So it kind of, I feel like it's confusing for people who are visible minorities. Like you just start to wonder like, whoa, where am I really from? Like, am I Canadian, or like how do you put those two together, right? So like a little bit of an identity crisis.
Where are you from on? That happens to me a lot even, and I don't have a problem with it. I think it's really interesting to discuss people's origins, just probably it's like the way in which it's phrased sometimes can come across as offensive, but I think it's actually pretty interesting in a country like Australia to have those kind of discussions about the origin of people and their families, because the reality is most people have come from somewhere else in the past few generations.
I kind of hate it, to be honest. But I don't know if I don't know if I'm overreacting, but I hate, like, most of the time those jokes aren't even relevant to my culture.
I feel it's really rude and stupid. Yeah. They don't really know your culture and where you're from, and they just, they're just based on what they know and to judge you. That's really rude.
It puts you down because you work so hard for things in life, and you like want to make it like people to get you to know you for who you are.
I'm pretty happy to take it. I think it's pretty funny, but yeah, I guess it depends on the thing.
Depends how much you let it get to you. I mean, like anything, you've got to have a strong sense of self, and that'll help you through any sort of troubles you come across. I mean, it's a thing, but it's not. I mean, obviously for me, I don't copy that much. I'm just straight white male kind of guy, so I don't get that sort of thing. But yeah, it's a thing.
I think that's a thing. I think we should respect each other.
You don't have to put characteristic on someone because of this racial aspect or something like that. So yeah, it exists. For me, it really exists.
If someone really did it purposefully, then it can be a really serious matter. But sometimes, like in Australia, it's such a like multicultural country. People sometimes may need to say if you are from somewhere by looking at your appearance.
So it can happen, but if it's not purposefully, it's alright.
I think if we said that's not acceptable, then in the next few generations it could actually die down from what we have it at today.
I understand if we don't know each other, we don't understand each other's culture, but we just shouldn't play jokes too easily, you know.
It's a problem that it becomes normal, you know. It shouldn't be normal, but I think it's not more and more, but it's still normal, and we have to change it. I think when you are children, it's important to start the sensibilization, you know.
Take it as this is another person, let me treat them as that and learn more about them. We could all learn from each other.
Well, I would say it's I'm from China, yes, and I'm proud of it. And so basically everyone is from somewhere, right? And we are all human beings, so we don't really need so much stereotypes.